Today, on the Growth Hub, we ponder. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that when we talk about domestic violence, we often picture women as the only victims? It's time to challenge these preconceived notions. Let's question our biases and recognize that men can also be victims too. But the reality is, domestic violence is not limited to one gender. Domestic violence against men is a significant yet often overlooked issue. While we often hear about the harrowing experiences of women, we must remember that men too can be victims. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1 in every 7 men has suffered severe physical violence at the hands of an intimate partner during their lifetime. And very often, if a female was to hit a man, the normal reaction would be, "It couldn't have hurt, could it? She's a woman," or "I bet he deserved it." That's not a small number, and it's certainly not a small problem. Yet the societal stigma surrounding this issue often masks the true extent of the problem. Men, conditioned by society to be stoic and resilient, often find it difficult to express their pain, let alone seek help. They are twice as likely to descend into substance abuse than women are to deal with how they are feeling. The resources available for male victims are scarce, further exacerbating the issue. The lack of support systems and the fear of mockery, judgment, or disbelief often forces them to suffer in silence. It's a harsh truth that many men suffer in silence due to the fear of ridicule, judgment, or lack of support. It's high time we challenge this societal norm and break the silence. All too often we turn a blind eye to the injustices that occur behind closed doors, especially when the victims are men. Domestic violence is not a women's issue nor a men's issue, it's a human issue. We must all become advocates for change, speaking out against any form of domestic violence regardless of who is on the receiving end. Let us raise our voices not to shout, but to make those silent voices heard. It is never okay to abuse someone, whether that physically or mentally, even more so when you are fairly certain they won't fight back. You see, in the West, certainly, men were raised to never hit a woman, but it seems the media often portrays men being hit and slapped by women in movies and on television. It provides a somewhat comedic value, and this has kind of normalized it, that in essence is true bullying. Goading, poking, hitting and prodding someone, with the comfort that there will be no retaliation. A total abuse of power, it's true cowardice, kind of like kicking a puppy or kitten. It's pretty disgusting behavior, man or woman. Let us support victims, helping them to regain their strength and dignity. Let's start conversations, challenge stereotypes, and shatter the silence that perpetuates these injustices. Remember, change begins with you. Speak out, stand up against domestic violence, and let's create a society where everyone feels safe. That's all for today. Do take care.